I've had a few questions since my last video about how remote is our new place and how long does it take us to get to shopping or groceries, so I thought I'd share a drive into town. Now, if you're new here on this channel, this is just me, Barb Vaughn, sharing about our big life change from living in the suburbs of Chicago and moving to our new land in Missouri. I left my teaching job earlier than planned and I moved to this quiet place to start fresh and refocus. Now, I promised in the last video I would explain in some detail our decision to move and start over. It really was a pretty quick decision for us. I can look back on some of our big decisions that Terry and I have made together in our years of marriage, and I can truly see God laying the groundwork for our future. And now that we're almost 6 months out from the move, we can see that this one was no different. Although I miss my teaching friends, I don't have any regrets on making the decision to leave teaching, take early retirement, and move to this cute little place. So I'm going to try to give the abbreviated version of the last year and share our drive into town. I did speed up the video, so this 9-minute drive actually takes about 18 minutes. I shot the video about a month ago, so the leaves were changing on the trees. It really is a beautiful drive. I have been an elementary educator for 26 years. I did teach a few years in private education while I was getting certified for the state of Illinois, but those years weren't recognized by the teacher retirement system. Let me provide some quick background for those who aren't educators. As a teacher, I had some great opportunities. I have a bachelor's degree in elementary education from the University of Missouri and 2 master's degrees. It's kind of an expectation that you continue your education, so many teachers are juggling a full-time job, grad school, and all the needs of a family. My first teaching job was as a 2nd grade teacher, but most of my career early on was in the intermediate grades, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. After my first master's, I began teaching reading courses for a small college as an adjunct professor. It made me want to try my hand in primary grades and teach those early literacy skills myself that I was focusing on with grad students, so I began teaching kindergarten the following year. After a few years there, I developed an early literacy program for at-risk kindergartners who could benefit from additional literacy instruction the second half of their day. I taught that early literacy intervention program servicing 6 elementary schools for 4 years, and then I moved on into an assessment role in another district in the suburbs of Chicago. It was much bigger than the district that I left, and I loved the work focusing on providing service to K-12 staff to help with students that needed intervention support on both ends of the bell curve. Assessment support for teachers of gifted students and those that might need additional instruction for on-grade level material. I served in that role for 8 years, and I worked with an amazing team, and I learned so much from them, but I was missing not being in a school role with teachers and students. While I was in assessment, I had an opportunity to train to be an instructional coach. The district I was currently serving in decided to create positions for instructional coaches to support teachers in their classroom with literacy instructional support. I was hired as one of the 5, so I moved into my new school, and the role was amazing. The group of teachers and support staff at the school were outstanding, and most very welcoming once they realized I was their teacher. I was their cheerleader, there to support their work and their students, and help them grow in areas that they wanted to learn more about. I believe coaching was what I was meant to do, support the work of teachers. Then the pandemic hit. Teacher shortage became even more critical. The coaching roles were eliminated, and I was placed back in the classroom after 12 years. So, after 12 years of being a support staff member, I became a 1st grade teacher, and I loved it. Again, that position, though after that year was over, was being eliminated at the school due to low enrollment. So I was off to another position, and I became an interventionist at another amazing school. But I was really getting discouraged. I think all the changes were more hurtful than I was willing to admit to colleagues. And when your district leader cuts the coaching position and then they don't take the time to contact each coach personally to see how we are, it reminds you of your value. Just a replaceable teacher. I did feel bad for the principals that had to do all the hard work to make things right for us. Kevin, you were a rock star in this challenging time. Not a great move for those district leaders who once said we were some of the top teachers in the district. So, about a year ago, in the late fall of 2021, I contacted the teacher retirement system to begin to think about retirement. I needed to teach 4 more years without penalty and 9 more years for full retirement. But we had them also calculate the reduction if I retired at the end of the school year in June 2022. Meanwhile, the behaviors and academic needs of students at my school were becoming very challenging. If you don't know a teacher, feel free to follow the hashtag education on Twitter. It will help to educate you on what teachers are experiencing, along with the teacher shortage thing. Anyway, I was in this new position. I wanted to support the work of teachers at my school, manage a new assessment, help them interpret results that would help their instruction, provide good instruction for kindergarten to 5th grade students needing reading and math support. You see, during the pandemic, the challenges of teaching from home, a hybrid schedule, then room and Zooming with some students physically in the classroom, some Zooming in for instruction at the elementary level, took its toll on teachers, not just in my district but nationally. It also set a pace of imbalance with life suffering and work taking on the waking hours to be ready to do all that was asked. It wasn't healthy, and although the term self-care became popular, so did toxic positivity and gaslighting. I didn't think I could keep the pace successfully anymore, so I started talking seriously about retirement. My husband, yep, he was my rock star. Terry has always supported my work, taking care of the kids, dinners, sports events while I was taking grad classes or teaching them, right alongside me while I was gathering hundreds of books at the Goodwill before my jump back into classroom teaching, and never questioning the Amazon deliveries or professional books or books for my school or classroom sets of scissors and whiteboards, always behind me 100%. And no surprise, he supported my thoughts of leaving the teaching profession. This property became available in Missouri. We started making some serious life decisions, and we decided to purchase the 33 acres of property in February. Our taxes on that land was under $30. So once we calculated the money lost in the retirement reduction for leaving early, we saw that we would save money retiring early and moving out of Illinois. So we started making plans. We listed our house for sale in April. I applied for early retirement in May and resigned my position after 26 years in public education, right after Memorial Day, to my principal and district. And the same day we got an offer on our house. The timing was awesome. My work in my district allowed me to know many teachers and staff in schools across our district, and some have said that I was cheated of some deserved opportunities, but I choose to look at those losses as a reason to refocus. I often mention my 4 goals in life. One is to be open to new opportunities, but I always thought of it more as a professional goal, hence the reason I have had so many cool jobs in education. I reassigned it as a personal goal, and I made my decision to choose my husband and my needs and become open to the opportunity to start over somewhere else. Remember, I've said in previous videos, I was a teacher lifer, but that wasn't supposed to be the plan. Now, I do understand that not everyone has the option to make the choices we were able to make. Our kids are grown and their work took them from our home in Oswego to other places in the state or out of state, so they weren't moving home. So we did have some freedom to relocate that others don't have. And so here we are, an 18-minute drive to town, planning our home build and living in this little barn while we plan our trips to visit our kids and friends. Terry's still running the County Line Transport business, and I'm working on creating my own little Etsy shop with a real focus on celebrating life every day. Another one of my 4 goals. Now, I do have a few things in my shop. Long story, but I opened early to make a few sales before I really had time to develop a real theme. So feel free to check it out now, but better things are to come in 2023. Here's the name of my shop. Thanks for checking in, and please like and subscribe if you want notifications on my next video. Enjoy the day, everyone.